And looking at the results, and you talked about dosing, it seemed like there was sort of a sweet spot range for the dose that really got the best effect. It wasn't necessarily the highest dose that got the best effect. So I was wondering if you could speak a bit to that.
Sure. I mean, this is we saw it across both studies in botanical drug extract and in an isolate and tau model and not tau model, and it's not really surprising because we do expect just about everything at a certain level to have toxicity, and what we see actually CBG appears to be less toxic in this model than CBD milligram per milligram, but again, you can there's an LD50 for water, so as you go up, eventually something's going to get toxic. But I would also say, in terms of efficacy, this is it's been a theory for some time about this kind of inverted U or kind of biphasic effects with cannabinoids. I think they're more profound with THC. I think there's a narrow dose window for THC. We know that low amounts or moderate amounts increase appetite. They may help with anxiety. They may help with sleep. But when you start giving really high doses of THC, you get massive paranoia, nausea, and vomiting. I mean, it's not pretty. There are a bunch of hospitalizations for people that didn't know how much was in their brownie. So as with these sorts of physiological effects, you may see the same thing in lifespan. Taking too much may be a hindrance, or may be neutral in terms of being of benefit. We still don't know kind of where that sweet spot would be, especially as it relates to CBD and CBG in humans.
Okay. So you can't necessarily apply the dosage that was effective in C. elegans to humans. Like, is there like a conversion there that you could take in terms of what the dose would be?
Yeah, there is a conversion. It's kind of complicated how you do it in C. elegans. There's two ways. You could actually look at the exposure. You could spin them down and look at their exposure, or you could use it as a correlate with other compounds that have similar lipophilicity. So it is complicated, but that 40 nanograms per mil, or 40 nanograms, 40 micromolar, excuse me, is certainly a physiologically relevant amount, and not the same as if I was doing work in a dish, right? Because they're basically eating the medium, so that's the concentration in their food essentially. So not necessarily their exposure on the cell level. So when you see cancer studies, oftentimes we're applying that, and that would be the cell exposure. This is kind of the food exposure, which is relevant to their internal exposure after metabolism.